Hello, class. This is Dr. Jeannie. I'm coming to you to talk about Unit 7. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a very nice one myself. Hope you didn't eat too much. Hope you didn't do too much Black Friday shopping. I avoided it like the plague. So I was not going to go fight for a TV. That's just the way I am. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys on a couple of things and talk about this week's assignment and what's coming up and what else we need to do to finish up the course, because we have just 2 more weeks to go and then we'll be flying into the holidays. So you guys will get a little break there. So let's talk about first the Unit 7 assignment. I'm going to flip over and I'm going to share my screen so that I can show you guys some slides. And I hope this is helpful to you in putting together the last part of your paper. So hang on while I flip. Okay, let me get it to slideshow so I can go through everything with you. All right, so I'm going back to my original presentation that I provided 2 weeks ago to set the stage. So again, my vision and mission statement. This is a hospital and their mission is to serve and heal through innovative healthcare. But you notice again in my vision, I say I'm the healthcare provider and employer of choice. So that employer of choice is important. That's part of my alignment with what's going on with my project. So then my problem statement is there's a gap between the current level of performance and desired level. So in this case, I've determined that the employee turnover in housekeeping is 68% compared to the average of 21% for the hospital. And nationally, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the turnover is about 28% for healthcare organizations overall. That includes all of the, that includes nursing homes and all other healthcare facilities. Bureau of Labor Statistics creates a big bucket and they put all healthcare in it. So our goal is to reduce employee turnover in the housekeeping department by 50%, so it would come from 68 to 34 or less by June 30th, 2020. So I'm giving myself 6 months to do this from the end of the year. Now, here's where we get into the Unit 7 assignment. So my action plan, and some of you, a lot of you have already gone into this, so you've got this part of your paper done. You've put your action plan together, your solutions. We tend to do that. We tend to say problem, solution, without digging into the details. So my action plan is I've determined through interviews and talking to my new employees that they feel like they're a little bit disconnected from supervision. So we are going to conduct one-on-ones bi-weekly with new hires for the first 3 months of their employment, then monthly afterwards. They also feel, and this is overall in the department, and this I'm making all this up as I'm going along. The employees feel like they don't have a place where they can make suggestions anonymously. So we're going to put a suggestion box in place. And then we're also going to partner each person with a buddy to orient them for the first 90 days of employment. So they feel like they have somebody to go to and somebody to train them and orient them. One of the things that I found in my experience is that we get a new person and they're assigned to Sally for a week. And then Sally takes a week of vacation. Then they're assigned to Joe. And they're with Joe for a week. And then they go to Penny for a week. And they're bouncing around like nobody, like they feel like they're shuffled around. So we're going to have one person as their buddy, their permanent buddy, to orient with them. And they will work the same shift as their buddy. So how am I going to monitor and evaluate? This is the core of your paper this week. So what am I doing? I'm measuring. How do I measure? Just like if we go to Weight Watchers, how do you do Weight Watchers? You count points. Simple as that. If you're doing calorie counting, you count calories. If you're going to run a marathon, you track how much you run every day and how much further you can run every day and how much improvement you have in your speed of running. So you see, we're going to measure. Measure means numbers. You must have something that is monitored through numbers. So this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to track our biweekly meetings. So that's a simple count. Then and I could actually change that to track the number of biweekly meetings with each new employee over the total number of new employees. So I could get a percentage that way. We're going to look at the number of suggestions we receive weekly. And then my next measure would be the number of suggestions implemented over the number of total suggestions. So I can see what my success rate is. Then I'm going to have the number of buddy assignments made on the first day of employment over the number of new hires, again, a percent, because a raw number doesn't tell me anything. Let's say I have 12 new buddy assignments, but I had 37 new employees. I'm not even getting 33% there. So that's why we want to do a percentage. And then I'm doing the number of new hires who leave within 12 months of hire over the number of new hires within the same 12-month period. This measure is a measure that SHRM uses, which is the Society of HR Management, and most organizations use to look at what we call either first-year turnover or first-year flight. So this is a good measure to look at for this. So that's what I want to see in your paper. I want to see how you are going to be able to measure, because your next cycle, which we're not going to do in this class, but your next cycle will be to have, okay, let's say I'm not having enough biweekly meetings. My percentage is low. Then I need to look and see what action I need to take, because now that's my problem. This is a cycle. That's where we get to the Plan, Do, Check, Act. That's actually what we're doing here. And I know in your materials it talked about 7 steps, but it could be 4 steps, it could be 7 steps, it could be 9 steps. Every methodology is different, but the foundation is the same. You look at the problem, you put it in an action plan through the information you've gathered, you monitor your improvement, and then you make changes. So again, I'm going to use my other example. Let's say I'm on Weight Watchers and I'm not losing weight. And Weight Watchers, one of the keys is you have to journal everything you eat. And I look and I see that, oh, but you know what? I have my X number of points each week, and I have my extra points, and I'm using all of my extra points on chocolate cream pie. Well, eating my extra points on chocolate cream pie versus eating my points on vegetables, that's a big difference in how my body is going to react. So you see what we're doing here? So that's what I want you to understand. So that's what we're talking about. Now for this week, we have a couple of different topics. We're talking about diversity. We're talking about social responsibility. Those are the 2 main things that we're talking about. So I really want to talk just for a second about diversity. We tend to think about diversity as those main, which are the protected classes under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VII, and the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the Pregnancy Protection Act, and some of the other acts. But there's more to diversity than that. And what we're really looking at is not just diversity, but cultural competence. How much do I understand about people of different backgrounds, different religions, different ethnicities, different physical conditions, different genders? Some people have, different views of their orientation and how they perceive themselves and how they identify. That's diversity. It can be other things besides, again, those protected classes. People who grow up in different parts of the world, although they may be of the same ethnicity and the same race, they're diverse, because this is a form of diversity here. And it's not a protected class, but it's a form of diversity. I don't have children. And if someone has 7 children, we're diverse because we have a different outlook on things. Someone who grew up in the South, like I did, versus someone who may have grown up in California. Because the South tends to be, and this is a generalization, the South tends to be very conservative and very Republican. And California, especially Southern California, tends to be a little more liberal, and they are more democratic. People who grow up in a rural area versus growing up in an urban area have a different look. That is also part of diversity. What makes a person, because we're not all cookie cutters, we don't all come out of the same little pattern or mold. We all have our own unique characteristics, and that's diversity. Understanding different religions. What do you know about Judaism? What do the Jewish holidays mean? Do you know that? If you're Jewish, you do. But if you're not Jewish, you may not. If you are not Catholic and you grew up Protestant or Jewish or Islamic, or even a Buddhist, or grew up as no religious background, do you understand what a holy day of obligation is and how that's important to a Catholic person? Those are the things that we're looking at in diversity. So that is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about corporate social responsibility. What do organizations do to be good citizens? What do they do? Do they recycle? How do they contribute? Do they participate in fundraising? What are the things that they do? So that's what we're looking at this week. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I know some of you, I still owe papers because you submitted them late. I will be getting those back to you within this batch of grading this week because I want you to have everything back before we do the Unit 7 paper. If I owe you anything and you think I've missed it because a lot of stuff came in at different times and I'm trying to sort through it, let me know. And I will make sure I get back with you. If you owe me work, make sure you get it to me because I need to get everything cleared up. I want to give you guys as fair of a chance as possible in the class. So this video is a little longer than I intended, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And talk about diversity. This is a piece of diversity. This is way a sidetrack. But I now live in a little more rural area, and we don't have trash pickup, which you probably can't believe. We only have household garbage. So my diverse thing is I'm going to go burn a box. So that's going to be part of my weekend, is with my burn pile, being a little bit of a pyromaniac. So y'all can laugh at me about that. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys, just so you understand, you know, a little better. And I like to connect with you guys and just have a little bit of fun with you. So I hope you have a great week. And if you need anything, please reach out to me, and you guys take care, and I'll be talking to you. Bye.